Hey, good morning to everybody. So glad you are here for another session of Stronger and Better. We have a wonderful show for you today. So just make sure that you are sharing this. I have my brother that's going to be on again. We're going to be talking about safe money investment strategies, which is exciting to us. So please say hello to me as you're coming in. I see people are now starting to join us. I see people are coming in. Please make sure that as always that you stay connected, that please make sure you go to this YouTube channel and please hit the subscribe button. Always go back, look at some of the old shows, support us, and make sure that you're joining us each and every week as we talk about subjects that make us stronger and better in relationships and finances and our spiritual growth and all areas of our life. We want to make sure that we are always becoming stronger and better. Yes, people are starting to come in now. They are joining. Glad to have everybody with us on today. And I'm just going to go ahead. We're going to go ahead and get started. And we're going to bring my brother in, Derwin Griffith. What's up, bro?
Hey, how are you, LeRoy? How are you today, man?
Man, I'm doing wonderful. How are you today?
I'm doing fantastic. I just want to tell you thank you again for this opportunity just to share your platform, man. I
Man,
appreciate this.
no, it's glad to have you here, man. Whenever we can talk about money and how to grow, man, and how to really do it with a kingdom sense,
Yes,
and really to set up our lives in a way where we can prosper and always continue to make even our portfolio stronger and better. And I'm really an advocate of people learning how to financially be successful. I wish we taught this years ago in terms of when we was in maybe middle school and high school. You know, we could be a lot further than we are today, but thank God we have opportunities like this to share these platforms. So on today, we're talking about safe money investment strategies, and I think that's an important subject. And I want to just give the floor to you, and let's begin to talk about that.
so I just want to tell you thank you again. And safe money investment strategies is basically about investing in a cash value life insurance policy. So
Yep.
it's not about looking good, it's about becoming good. And how do we
Yeah.
become good? It's just basically by having these wealth conversations and basically helping to just to inform the community on how to make better financial decisions.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. I want to say to the audience, even as we are talking, if you have any questions, please make sure you throw them in the chat, interact with us. Make sure, like I said, you're sharing this information with those because this is powerful information to make not only us successful, but generations to come.
Absolutely. Two generations, okay? You always got to think of two generations ahead.
That's it. That's it. That's it. So
All
let's
right.
go, Derwin. So explain to us what is a safe money investment strategy.
So, save money investment strategy, we take a look at a life insurance policy and we basically use that as a saving mechanism to save money in. And I'll touch a little bit about, and I'll go deeper into that into my presentation. But that's basically all it is. It's just a different saving mechanism or different savings vehicle on
Yeah.
where you could save money.
Got you, got you.
So just wanted to just start by saying, because typically when a person is going through any type of financial hardship, the first thing, we take a look at, okay, so where's your money I'm going? So
Yep.
is it the bank taking your money because you're losing purchasing power because you have all your money in the bank? And please keep in mind, I'm not saying that I mean, as far as like not to have money in the bank, you want to have money in the bank for transactional purposes, such as um, bills and so forth. But as far as the best way to have your money multiply for you is basically investing.
Yeah.
Um,
It's
is it
funny you said that, Darwin, because I was having a conversation yesterday with a couple of people, and I think younger people are realizing that more in
Mhm.
terms of you can make more money in terms of investing, and they even talk about investing more in crypto now,
Mhm.
in stocks and bonds, instead of having your money sit in a savings account that's
Right.
not yielding a huge return.
You're right. You're right. Definitely, you want to have anytime that you want your money to work for you, and again, I'll touch on that a little bit later, you definitely want to have that in some type of investment strategy, or investment mechanism. So we definitely want to, just having the opportunity to just build your financial literacy, to just enhance your learning, that's key.
Yeah.
So again, so did the government take your money because you pay taxes, but it's not the government's job to take care of you? Or did the bill collector take your money because you buy things on credit that you can't afford?
Mm.
So when many of us experience any type of hardships, what happens? This may lead to depression, suicidal thoughts, stress, lack of self-worth, or poor health conditions. So the key is to kind of offset this, is just having a plan in place to kind of offset if you are going through something, you're able to actually, divert and have a plan in place, and that's key. Because
Yeah.
a lot of times when people are going through, or depression, a lot of times it's because there's no plan in place. So just having these wealth conversations and just having these and just actually just be just having that conversation with people in the community is going to
Yeah.
help them through this.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's funny, not funny, but you bring up these thoughts. I think a lot of people don't realize how much pressure
Hmm.
finances bring on on a person.
Yeah.
You was talking about suicide, depression, all those things are from stress.
Yeah.
It's from stress.
Hmm.
Yeah. Well, go ahead, though.
Absolutely. So the key is, how can I afford it?
Right.
My last presentation with you, we talked about a budget, and a budget is, if we take a look at Luke 14:28. Suppose one of you wants to build a tower. Won't you first sit down and estimate the cost to see if you have enough money to come or to complete it? So just as how a builder has to get his finances to incorporate the cost of labor and the cost of material to construct a project, we should always incorporate a budget into our everyday lives.
Yeah.
Um, Money's not the problem, money is the solution. And we have to remember that. Your sacrifice today will pay off tomorrow. So think about, if you plant a tree. You want to plant a tree so once you retire, you're able to sit under the shade. So you want to plant that tree for either yourself or your loved ones. And you want to think 2 generations down the road.
No, that's
Deferred
good.
gratification. Many people, they want it right now. So you think of, people want things fast, but life is long. You
Yeah.
want deferred gratification. I read an article where Jeff Bezos asked Warren Buffett, or he said to him, he said, Warren, he said, your investment strategy is simple. How come more people don't utilize it? Warren Buffett replied, because no one wants to get rich slow.
Mm, yeah. And that's the
Oh,
problem. We want some stuff fast, man. We want to happen overnight.
yeah, listen. It takes time. It takes time because you have to understand the mechanics on how wealth works.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not an expense, it's an investment. You're investing into your future.
Right. Right. Right.
So I have these conversations with customers in my office, and I ask this question: what do you think that you should invest in? Many of them say stocks and bonds, real estate, open a business, or start a ventures, which is all great because you get a higher return with stocks than you would in the bank. Real estate is a great investment. Owning a business provides you the freedom because there's no ceiling on what you can make. And the great thing about this is they're all great streams of income. They're all great asset classes, but however, all of these, and even now, were affected by COVID. If the
Yeah.
pandemic didn't teach us anything, is we need to diversify more.
Yeah.
Okay, so before there's any type of anything that you want to invest in, let's say stocks, bonds, real estate, you definitely want to do your homework. You want to increase your financial literacy, and you want to consult with a financial advisor.
So there is there in terms of uh if you're in a certain age bracket, is one better or safer than the other?
Well, I wouldn't say I mean, what I would do honestly is, the younger you are, you want to start as young as possible,
Right.
because the younger that you start, that's the sooner that you could retire. I had a friend of mine. We were actually in class together in Bloomington
Yep.
when I was actually training to be an agent,
Yep.
and just the disparity. I mean, just the difference between him and myself at age 21. So at age 21, I told him, I was hanging out, having a good time. He said at age 21, he had 6 apartment buildings.
Wow. Wow.
Okay. So huge difference. Okay. And we have conversations now. And from where he is right now in his life, I'm like, wow, it just shows because he got a jump start in life and he had someone actually coach him and just mentor him, just let him know, say, listen, here's where you want to start because when you get to 50, you could just sit in the shade.
Yeah. 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 I think that's true, and I don't think it's ever too late. I do even hear people now, seasoned people talk about they don't have a retirement set up, but I
Mm,
think there are tools still out there for people to invest in, whether
yes.
you're young or older,
Hmm.
um, in terms of building wealth, not only for yourself but generations to come.
Yeah, absolutely. The key is you want to start. Okay. A lot of people, they think that, that they don't have the time, but you want to start, do something. You know, again, it's like what I stated on earlier. You want to plant that tree. You
Yeah,
want to plant that tree so you can sit in the shade.
yeah. There was a question that came up from Davida here. It says, good question. What about starting an index fund for 19-year-old?
That's great. I would say yes. You definitely want to start an index fund. Index funds, they, based on index fund that you get, you get a good return on that. You probably get 6 or 7% on that. But again, you definitely want to consult with a financial advisor. Um, I have that, but again, the index funds are tied to the market. So you want to make sure that you have other streams of income or something else where it's not tied to the market. Because if the market goes down, if the market or declines, you want to just make sure that you have something else that you can pull from in the event of an emergency.
Can you explain an index fund just for people who don't understand it?
Oh, okay. So index fund. Okay, so I'll break it down. So you have index fund, and then you have an ETF. ETF is basically an exchange traded fund. An ETF basically trades like a stock.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can buy ETF like a stock. An index fund trades once a day. So that's the only difference how it trades on the market.
Okay. She also asks, what is a good amount to start?
Um, I'm not a financial advisor yet, so that's something where you would have to consult with a financial advisor, and they could actually give you that amount because it's different amounts. There's no set amount to say, well, listen, I'm going to put in $5,000. I'm going to put in $2,000. It's based on what you could afford. I mean, I could tell you from when I started. I started my first investment when I was about 20 years ago, and I started with $1,000. So
Yeah.
it's based on what you could afford and what you're able to actually, um, do. I'm not sure exactly how or you're going to do it, but it's something where you want to put in where you're not going to miss that on money.
Yeah, let me say, just as disclaimer, also that whatever advice that we do put even on the show for Stronger and Better, we encourage you to get extra resources. Go get extra resources, learn more about it, get you a financial advisor, get you an expert to look at your portfolio, look at how much your budget, and then move from there. I would
Yes.
not advise that you look at the show and just go out there and get a get an index
Yeah. Yeah. Listen,
a
it's
product and no, don't do that. Please just
yeah.
make sure whatever you do that you get a good financial advisor that you can trust, that's
Hmm.
reliable, that you can build a financial relationship with and
Yes.
grow your portfolio. And also that these are just suggestions in terms of ways we can grow. There are a mass amount of resources. You want a diverse portfolio. You don't know what the market's going to do, so you want
Mhm.
to have diversity in your portfolio. But go ahead.
Okay, that's great. That's
Please
great because
ask
and the
your
key is
question. Yeah.
and the key thing that I want to say or to add to that, do your research.
Yep.
Don't just go in there with
Yep.
just basically listening to what you're told. You want to go in there actually having questions so you understand exactly what they're talking about.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So one strategy that I heard when it came to cash value life insurance, I heard buy term and invest the rest. And I'm pretty sure that many people on this call probably heard the same thing, which is a great strategy, but many of us, when we invest, what do we invest the rest in? Do we invest in the latest gadgets? Do we invest in the market? And then when the market declines, there's panic sell-offs. But here's the thing: if the market do decline and you have money in your cash value life insurance policy, you're able to borrow from that cash value life insurance policy. Because as you can see, when the market declined during COVID, a lot of people, or they panicked.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So we want to make sure that, yes, you want to have your money in the market because, again, you want your money to grow for you, but you also want to have something else where it's a safe money strategy where it's not tied to the market and you can borrow from it, in a time of need.
Absolutely.
So going right into it. Okay. So safe money strategy so that's a save money. So it's a savings cash value life or life insurance policy, which is basically, it's a more efficient strategy savings. It offers about 2 to 3% return, and you're able to get a higher return than you would at the bank. So just think of it as a savings account on steroids. And let's just step back and just take a look at a purchase. When we make purchases, let's say, for example, a big purchase, we save the money in the bank and then we take the money out of the bank. But how many of us actually put the money back after that purchase is complete?
Right.
All right. We take the money out, and that's it. We did what we're supposed to do. We met our goal to make our purchase, but we never really put the money back. But however, if you take the money from a cash value life insurance policy, you feel kind of compelled to put that money back because you don't know when you may need it down the road. So it's a same strategy as putting money in the bank. However, you're getting a higher return on your money, and you feel compelled to put that money back once you take it out. And banks are paying less than 1% interest right now. So let's say, for example, if the bank was paying 1% and a cash value life insurance policy was paying about 3%, you're losing at least 2% purchasing power because of inflation.
So with this also, you can set a beneficiary and
Yes. So you can actually set a beneficiary. So the great thing about the cash value life policy, it builds a cash value, and it also has a death benefit. So you can use this towards your retirement. So the cash value is for your retirement. But if something was to happen to you, you don't make it back home, your loved ones, they're able to get that death benefit. If you were to borrow from the cash value life policy, even if you don't put the money back, they'll just subtract the money from the death benefit.
got you. Yeah. Got you.
Okay.
Yep.
So in my research, I found a couple companies that actually are currently billion-dollar companies right now, and these actually stood out to me. JCPenney. I know many of us shopped at JCPenney. I mean, many of us got our school clothes from JCPenney.
Absolutely.
Listen,
Sure, man. I
JCPenney.
was going into those warehouse, JCPenney warehouse, everything, man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So JCPenney, James Cash Penney, in the Great Depression in 1929, when businesses were closed down, when there were food lines, he used his money from his cash value life insurance policy to sustain his business.
Mm.
The McDonald's franchise, Ray Kroc, borrowed money from his cash value life insurance policy to actually buy out the McDonald brothers and pay key employees.
Mm.
And Walt Disney, when he wanted to open up an animated theme park, he went to the bank for a loan. The bank looked at him like he was crazy. They said an animated theme park. They didn't see his vision because at the time when the parks at that time, they were all ran down parks. So they didn't see his vision as far as an animated theme park. So they told him no, that he was crazy. So what he did was he took money from his cash value life insurance policy, and the rest is history. So
there's no penalty on how you use this money.
no, Not at all. I could tell you firsthand from us, we took some money out from it and we went on vacation.
Okay. Yeah, because I know, it's interesting because I know a lot of people use their 401ks to
Hmm.
buy purchases like cars or
Hmm.
to pay off loans or, even to finance a business. Um, this seems like a different type of tool that you can use for something similar.
Yes. So if you take a loan against it, you basically want to take a loan against it and you just pay the interest back.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, you just pay the interest. So if you take all the money out, then you may be subject to taxes. But if you take it out, you just pay back basically the interest. And if you don't put it back, that money is just subtracted from the death benefit.
Yeah. Can you explain that to people too about just paying back the interest so people understand it?
So let's say for example, if you take out, let's say $5,000, you may have to pay back about 5% interest in that. Okay, so let's say 5% of 5,000, that's 250. You have 250.
Yep.
Okay, so that's 250. So you would have to pay back about 250 back on the money or that you borrowed. But however, if you don't pay that money back, no one is going to come looking for you. No one is going to come to your door asking you for the money. What's going to happen is that money will just be subtracted from the death benefit.
Wow.
So typically what I tell people is yes, you could borrow from it. If you need the money, absolutely borrow from it. But you want to put it back because you never know when you may need it in the future.
Right. And is there a certain amount of years that you have to pay in before
Yes. So
before
typically you definitely want to pay into it. So it's just like anything else. So you
Mhm.
think about if you put $100 in the bank right now, the $100 is not really going to do anything for you. You probably see, a return or, a small return probably within a few years. Same thing with a cash value life insurance policy. You have to give it an opportunity to work for you. It's like anything else. You put it to work for you, and within a couple of years or so, then you'll start seeing that money building equity on for you.
Okay, cool. That's good to know.
It's Trust me, it's super easy because we did it. Before I actually got into this or position or an agency, I was unaware of the benefits of the cash value life insurance policy. So when I attended different wealth forums and so forth, and just speaking with a lot of people to actually use the cash value life insurance policies or to purchase businesses, real estate, I was overwhelmed. I'm like, wow, I said, I had no clue that you would actually use a cash value life insurance policy like that. Because when you hear of life insurance, you think of a lot of people just think of death. Okay, but it's a lot more than that. You could actually use the policy to actually for education, a home, whatever you like.
Now, is there a minimum you have to
So you could take out up to 80% of what you have in there, of what you have in your in your cash value life policy.
what about the starting?
Oh no, 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 I'm sorry. So there's no starting point where it's based on your age. So let's say, for example, roughly, I'll say kids, let's say 10 and under, typically you get a policy for about $25 a month for them. As far as someone I'm older, I would have to do that on an individual on basis. But think of it as you saving money monthly in a bank. So you would say to me, listen, Derwin, I would like to save, let's say $300 a month or $400 a month. I could show you based on the cash value life policy, based on your age, how much would be projected that you would have in 10, 15 years.
Okay, gotcha,
All right.
gotcha. So this would be a good product to start for a child. It sounds like just
Yes, yes. Listen, it's a good product to start for
$20,
anyone.
right?
It's a good product to start for anyone. You definitely, like for kids, educational purposes. But as
Mhm.
far as someone older, you could start it for, or to supplement or their retirement as well.
No, that
So
makes
this could, so you can have a 401k, you could have, 401k, you could have pensions, but you could also have another stream of income for when you retire, or tap into or for retirement.
wow.
You want to plant a couple trees, not just on one tree.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Let's plant.
You have to sow that seed, sow the seed.
Yeah. No, this
Okay.
is good though. Even from just thinking from an entrepreneur side, from from the kids, from the family, from retirement.
Mhm.
That's a product that can be used in a diverse way.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
absolutely. Listen, it's a great product, and if I didn't believe in it, I wouldn't be here right now actually doing this presentation because I really believe in it, and it's
yeah.
super helpful because it helped me in my family as well.
Yeah, please. Anybody who's watching, please, if you have any questions, please put it in the chat and make sure, or you can text me privately with that number at the bottom of the screen. Please share that this is great information about building wealth and building retirement, also leaving a legacy for our children. But go ahead, Darryl. Thank you.
All right. So banks invest in life insurance. Many of us they may not know this, and I'm going to show you an illustration in a few minutes. But banks
Yeah,
invest in life insurance.
yeah,
So why aren't we doing the same? Okay. So Wells Fargo they have about $19 billion in life insurance assets. 19 billion. That's a huge number. Um, and it's considered a safe money strategy for the bank because they get a good return on their money because it's not tied to the bank because it's not tied to the market. Banks have life insurance on key employees, and the banks use the return to pay key employee benefits, and it makes the bank look more profitable.
wow.
Uh-huh.
Quick
And
question though, since you said that with it brought into to my mind with this type of product. Uh, do you have to be healthy? Is it based on your health also?
yes, absolutely have to. Yes, it is based on your health. Okay, so everyone has to go through, not everyone, I mean, based, so you have to answer a few questions, so you do have to take a medical underwriting questionnaire over the phone, and
Okay.
based on how you answer those questions you may be subject to you may have to urine, you may have to do some blood work,
Mm,
or they say based on how you answer all the questions they'll say, listen, oh, you're good to go. So it's based on how you answer all the questions because everyone is different, so I can't say
yeah.
every single person is going to have an interview, or every single person will be subject to blood or urine, or maybe
Yep.
doctors
Yep.
records. Everyone is unique.
Gotcha.
All right. And the FDIC allows this asset to be classified as tier one, and tier one is the safest capital a bank could have. So tier one is life insurance, tier two would be loans, and tier three would be considered foreign currency. So if everyone could see this link here, and I'm going to put it into the chat a little later, I'm going to actually show Wells Fargo where they have their assets. So could everyone see my screen, the FDIC screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So if we take a look at this is Wells Fargo, everyone can see Wells Fargo. If we take a look at number 11, this is showing all of Wells Fargo assets in real estate. So this is in thousands. Okay. So just keep in mind, whatever you see here, you have to add three zeros next to it. Okay.
Yep.
So, so Wells Fargo has 148 million in real estate. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So that's what they have in on real estate. So if we take a look at what they have in life insurance assets, they have 19 billion.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it just goes to show you that they look at life insurance as a safer asset or safer investment than than their real estate.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so I am going to put the link in so everyone can actually, if you want to look at your financial or your financial institution, if you want to look at, if you because some of you may have different banks, Webster Bank, People's, so forth. You could actually just
Yeah.
put that back, put your financial institution in there, and you're able to see exactly where their asset classes are.
Yeah. So Davita says, okay, they know something we don't know, and I think that's interesting because I'm glad you said that because their banks and a lot of these insurance institutions and businesses are investing in things that we don't know.
Yeah.
And that's why I think these conversations that we have this morning is important. Just like most people do not know about this cash value life insurance and
Mm-hmm.
how organizations, companies are growing from life insurance policies. I met a guy years ago of a different race, and he was telling me, he was like, "Yeah, my family, I put life insurance on my parents."
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I was stunned. I was like, really? And so he said, yeah. And my parents put it on their parents put, and it's a generational thing,
Mm-hmm.
not realizing it's not saying that you want your parents to, pass away, but it's another way of building security
Yes.
and wealth within the family to keep
Mm-hmm.
generations growing for the future. And so we need to start thinking in a different way, doing the research like we're doing now to even see where are banks or money institutions who are surviving and who are growing, where are they putting their money, and how do we advance in the same way?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's interesting. I have one of my customers where she has life insurance, a cash value life insurance policy on everyone in her family. She has it on even her grandkids. All
Yeah.
right. And basically, how she set it up. So she's a business owner, and she has her boyfriend. He handles one sector of the business, and her sons handle one sector of the business.
Mm.
So she basically, so the conversation that we had, I basically had a conversation of, so let's set up a cash value life insurance to cover your key employees. Your key employees is your boyfriend that runs one sector, and your sons that run another sector of the business, and you run another sector. Now she doesn't know how to run the sector that her boyfriend runs, and she doesn't know how to run the sector that her sons run. She just basically handles the day-to-day operations.
Right.
So if her boyfriend passes away, the cash value life insurance policy that she has on him, she takes that money to basically go out and hire somebody else and train them. So this way the business is still being sustained while she's looking to replace her boyfriend.
Right.
Same thing with her kids. She did the same thing for her kids. Now and she told me, she said, listen, I'm only going to work for 10 years, and once I'm done, I'm done. So the money that's in there, she's
Yeah.
able to use that money towards a retirement.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Yep.
Hmm. So it's just basically having these conversations and just getting the financial literacy is key.
I agree. I agree.
So we talked about Wells Fargo investing in life insurance, and these are some other companies that we use every single day that also invest in life insurance. General Electric, Nestle, AT&T, Starbucks. These are places that we visit every single day.
Yeah.
So they actually took a page out of the banker's book where they said, listen, if the bank is investing in life insurance and it's a safe money strategy, why aren't we doing the same?
Yeah. You're right. You're right. And that's
Okay.
cool. And we need to be doing the same.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's so listen, it's yes, you could put your money in the market, absolutely. But you also want to have something else in place to actually just to borrow against it. Okay. And it makes, and if it makes the bank look more profitable, obviously they're doing it so they can look more profitable as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So life insurance addresses three components: risk, savings, and investing.
Yep.
The risk is you're transferring risk from your family to the insurance company.
Yep.
The savings, you're saving at a higher interest rate than you would at the bank, and you're investing for the future. Okay, so investing for the future, for retirement, home, or education.
Mm.
We go to work and we work 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
Why aren't we letting our money work 24 hours for us?
That's right.
Okay,
That's right.
so your money will not get tired. Your
Yeah.
money's not going to call in sick, and your money will not need time off.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay. So the key is, put your money to work for you. When you're sleeping, you want your money to be working for you. And I have a couple scriptures here where you can actually read on your own. It talks about saving and investing, Proverbs 21:20, and the parable of the talents, Matthew 25:14-30.
Yeah.
Okay. So we talked about this earlier. As far as people think that they're too old, and you're never too old.
Yeah.
Okay. It's just, individuals think that they have time. You want to do this as soon as possible. It's never too late, but you want to start doing something as soon as possible for yourself, for your loved ones. Um, People think that it's too expensive. The lack of financial literacy. And another big common factor that I hear on a day to day is I have it at work, which is great. You could have it at work, but however, think of it as a company car. When you leave that job, the policy goes away. So you
Yeah.
want to make sure that you have something else that's tangible in the event that you leave that business or you leave that company, that you no longer have that policy. Because once you leave there, that's it. It's gone. Okay, it's only gonna sustain you when you're there working for the company. Okay, and the best time to get life insurance is when you're young because you will never be this healthy. And the easiest way to actually make this affordable is if you work 1 extra hour a month or even 2 extra hours a month, not a day, not a week, a month. Or even if you cut back on that coffee, you can make this affordable.
Mm.
Okay. The key is research. You want to read, you want to research, you want to, how do you educate yourself and change your mindset on becoming more financial, or how to become or financially independent. We
Yeah.
have to read, and we have to basically increase our knowledge. So the benefits of a cash value life insurance policy is retirement savings, home purchase, college education, generational wealth, and protecting the ones that love you. Okay, the easiest way to transfer generational wealth is through life insurance.
Yeah.
All right, that's the easiest way. And you want to protect the ones that you love. Do you not want your if you don't make it back home, if you don't make it back home, do you not want your family to live the same quality of life as if you were no longer there? I mean, you would want them to have the same quality of life. You don't want them to live a lesser quality of life if you're no longer there. You want them to live the same or better. All right.
Absolutely.
And that would be my thought process. But in order to do so, you want to definitely have plans in place. You want to make sure that, there's something for if you don't make it back home, that your family can live the same quality of life. You want your kids to go to college. All of these things that people have to think about. I had one of my customers, she came into the office yesterday and she just bought a house. She just moved here. I'm from New York. And I was explaining to her, I said, okay, I said, so you and your husband just bought a house, you just had a newborn. I said, okay, so we need to look at a policy where it's actually going to protect the mortgage. She said, okay, I'm on board. I said, I need you. I also need your husband. She said, well, I don't know about him. I said, listen, if he doesn't make it back home, that paycheck is no
Yeah.
longer coming into the household.
That's right.
You still have to pay bills. You
That's
still
right.
have to pay the mortgage. You still have to take care of the kids. How is that going to happen if one paycheck is not there, is no longer there? She said, I know. I said, listen, I said, all you have to do is just bring him in. Just let me have the conversation with him. Let me just explain to him. Because a lot of times what people, they don't understand is just once you break it down and just explain to them the importance of just protecting your family. And I hope everyone wants to protect your family. It's just having that conversation to just do a deeper dive in if they don't make it back home, what happens? Because you definitely want your family to be protected.
Somebody asked a question, Derwin, and Miss Beverly says, "What about universal life insurance? You can do the same."
Yes, correct. Yes, you can do the same with universal life insurance. Yes, universal life insurance is the great thing with universal life insurance is you could set it up where you could do have like a decreasing death benefit or increasing death benefit. So yes, you could do the same with a universal life on policy because you could build a cash value in that as well.
Okay. So is there a true difference or no?
Well, the difference is it's not a true difference. Is you think of it as you could do like a decreasing death benefit, or you can increase the death benefit. With a regular cash value life insurance policy, the death benefit just continues or to grow for you. With the or with a universal life, you may say to yourself, okay, as I get older, um, I want to decrease the death benefit. I don't want it to continue to increase. You could do that. So you do have that option. Another option with the universal life is, and also with the cash value life insurance policy, is you could actually use it for living benefits. You can access living benefits. And when I say living benefits is, let's say, for example, it's something called accelerated death coverage. So let's say if you contract cancer, you could actually utilize money from your cash value life insurance policy to buy medication, and you're not penalized for it.
Okay. There was another question that came from Mr. Vita. It says, you may have mentioned this already, but how young can your beneficiary be for the cash value life policy?
So as long as the person has a social, they could be a beneficiary. Okay. So if you want to put your kids, your newborns, so forth, you could put whoever you like as a beneficiary.
So with a kid, do you have to have some kind of trust in place?
Yeah, so it's based on how you set it up. So let's say, for example, if you want to set it up where you want to set it up in a trust, or if you want to set it up, the key thing is you want to have a will, all right? Because if something happens, 250,000 or $500,000, go to, let's say, a 5-year-old, that's not going to happen. All right. You want to have that set up maybe where when they're, let's say, 25, maybe the money starts going to them, or set it up in a trust where they get monthly payments. You could set it up where it could go to an annuity where they could get monthly payments, and the money will never run out. So it's different mechanisms that you could actually set up or put in place to actually structure a payment if you don't make it back home.
Okay. Good info.
All right. So we talked about this just now as far as retirement. All right. So think of our grandparents. When our grandparents are retired, they had a pension, they had some Social Security, but they had little to no nest egg. Now today, with the corporations today or companies today, they have no pensions. They actually did away with the pensions because that's cost effective. We will have some Social Security, but the key is we want to have a nest egg. So we want to build that nest egg up as much as possible for once we retire, that we'll be in good shape. It's about planting as many seeds as possible. So once you retire, you have different options.
Yeah.
The biggest fear, I had a customer come in, his biggest fear was running out of money. So my question to him was, what plan do you have in place? I have a 401k. All right, that's great. That's a start. What else do you have in place? Okay, so you want to have as much as possible, because the biggest heartache will be not being able to provide for your family.
Absolutely.
All right. So we all want to be that person that's able to provide for your family until you're no longer able to.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So starting, having a plan in a place is crucial, and we need to start as soon as possible. So, and we get there by discipline. We want to create more lakes than rivers. The average household is like a river. Income flows in and it flows out through expenses. A lake sits and holds a body of water. We want to hold as many assets as possible to create wealth. You want to have a holistic view. You want to open up your mind up to different ideas. You want to open up your mind up to different teachings.
Yeah.
Long term. Okay. We talked about deferred gratification. You want long term and no more 0 days. What I mean by that is we need to do more daily to enhance our ability to create wealth. If that's learning, if that's listening to podcasts, if that's just basically just hanging out with people that have the knowledge, we need to increase our financial literacy. And we do that by just basically becoming better. So every day we should try to do something to increase our ability, to increase our knowledge, just to become overall better. Okay, but that starts with discipline. Now, discipline weighs ounces, but regret weighs a ton. So, building discipline,
Yeah.
at first, it's uncomfortable. But however, you don't want to wait 10 years down the road, and say, something, I should have, because your present self is accountable to your future self. So what you're doing right now, what your present self is doing right now, is going to be a result to your future self. So we need to start and put things in place right now. So once we retire, things will be in place for us.
And that's what this is about. It's about discipline, changing our mindset,
Yes.
and even erasing some of the things that we might have heard from previous generations about
Mhm.
security and certain assets, and really diversifying our portfolios to make sure that we are doing everything to build a future,
Yeah.
a future wealth for ourselves. There's so many resources out there right now, and you know even me and you talk about Derwin, even within the crypto market and some of these new things that's coming out. There's a lot of opportunities to
Mhm.
build wealth and not have your money sitting and doing nothing. So
Mhm.
even for me, when you say no more 0 days, I don't want no more 0 days of my money making zero. My money need to be making something for itself every single day.
Uh-huh. No,
And
absolutely.
that's part of
Yes.
that holistic view. That's part of it, because there's some, and when you put your money in stocks, there's some days it goes down, but when it goes to crypto, it might be going up. When it goes to my life cash investment, it might be going up. So it's one of those things where you got to stick in it for the long haul.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Again, listen, it's not going to take overnight where you change your mindset. It takes time.
Yeah,
But the
takes
key
time.
is at least put something in place. All right. Discipline, is the key. Discipline and consistency. That's how you get to the top of the mountain. Um, Me and my wife, we had an opportunity to actually visit the Rocky Mountains a couple of months ago.
Mm,
And going up the mountain, okay, we went up the mountain. They took us up in a train. Now, going up, you're uncomfortable because the higher that you elevate, it's colder. All right.
mm.
So you're going up and you feel kind of uncomfortable. Or your knees may start hurting because of the elevation.
Yeah, yeah,
But once you get to the top and you look out, you're like, wow.
yeah,
It
yeah.
goes to show you the sacrifice on the way up. But when you get to the top, you could say, look where I am
The
based on the
beauty of it
sacrifice.
all.
Huh?
The beauty of it all.
The beauty
Yeah,
of it all. Yeah.
yeah,
Uh-huh. The sacrifices, based on the sacrifices, look where you are now.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think that's important when it comes to discipline. You got to see it not in the present, but see it in the future.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's stages.
that's the
Stages.
yeah.
So want to leave you with one more thing, and it's called and it's some financial tips. You want to pay yourself first. Invest regularly or
Well, I want to
automatically.
add something before that. You got to pay your tithes.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Give me a second. Give me a
You got to
second.
pay your
I didn't
tithes.
get to that. Absolutely. Listen, pay your tithes. You have to pay your tithes. Yes, pay your
Man,
tithes
only reason I
first.
say that, and I think that's important for people to know. Pay your
Yes, you have to
tithes.
pay your tithes.
God is first, and then He blesses the rest.
Yes, yes, correct. Pay your tithes and then pay yourself after.
Yeah,
All right. You want to invest regularly and automatically.
yeah,
All right. Um, and automatically, you think of when we say automatically, you could set it up where you money's taken out of your check automatically and it goes right into your account. I mean, right into your investing account.
yeah,
That's basically called dollar cost averaging. Dollar cost averaging is buying on the dips. What that means is rather than buying a stock at, let's say, $6 a share, that stock may go to $6 a share. It may go down to 5.50 a share. It may go to 5.45. Bounce back up to $7 a share. You're buying on the dips. Okay, so that's what's meant by automatically. You want to buy on the dips. Um, you want to save at least 15 to 20% of your income. And there's that word again, budget. You want to create a budget and track your expenses. And You don't get wealthy by investing in appreciating assets like cars, boats, or cell phones. You want to invest in appreciating assets like a cash value life insurance policy that's not tied to the stock market. And you want to simplify your life by spending less than you earn.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Thank you. So I am going to um, add in actually what we talked about, the link. I'm going to put that link up that they could actually go in and they could take, look at their financial institutions. If they want to take a look at where their bank have their money, they could
Yeah.
do that for themselves. And I'll
Yeah.
put instructions in there as well.
Yeah, we'll throw that in the chat also. And this has been a great conversation, and I want to re-emphasize that number one, you have to be disciplined. Number two, make sure that you talk to a financial advisor about your portfolio and ways for you to invest, and tools that you can use to grow your wealth for not only yourself, but generations to come. Don't forget about the ones coming behind you, our children, and even institutions like the church or maybe nonprofit organizations where you can leave wealth to help change the lives of
Yes.
people. I think this is an important conversation for us to have. And it's an important conversation for us to have that you need to start today.
Yes.
Don't wait for tomorrow. Don't wait for next week. Start the 0 days now.
That's right.
Right. Start it now. Start doing your research, start reading, start planning. See yourself not here today, but see yourself where you want to be in the future. So please make sure that you are going out and you're doing that, and make sure, that you're thinking about what's your next steps. Where do you want to be? Where do you want to go in terms of your finances? And let's get there. As always, glad to have you on the show, Derwin. And glad that you have given us this wonderful information. We love you, man. We appreciate it. And as always, those who are watching, please hit that subscribe button on the YouTube channel. Derwin, how can they get in contact with you?
Actually, I just put my information up that they could actually get in contact with me.
Okay.
I'll be happy to address any questions or concerns that they have. Talk to anyone as far as how they could, improve their financial literacy, how they could actually improve, or their financial future. I'd be happy to, address any questions or concerns that they may have.
Good, man. Appreciate everybody joining us today for another segment of Stronger and Better. We love you. We thank you. And please be blessed and have a blessed day. God bless you.
Thank you so much.